the fact is, for all the issues that we're dealing with here in the city of Milwaukee, here across the state of Wisconsin, for all of our faults, despite the injustice and the discrimination that people continue to face, my journey to this stage is only possible right here in the United States of America and in the state of Wisconsin. I grew up in the community, this community specifically, right here in Milwaukee, in the face of some very significant challenges, and this is due to historic injustices that too many people face. And a lot of people think about the zip codes in the state of Wisconsin, specifically 53206 zip code, which is where I was born, is one of the nation's most impoverished, one of the nation's most incarcerated areas. But what people fail to see is the joy, the resilience, the hope and the opportunity that lies within that very community, and so many others like it across this state and across this country. They don't see people like my father, who was a factory auto worker, a member of the UAW. And I'm so proud that we have so many friends of labor in the building today as well. Don't think I forgot. Don't think I forgot about you. I didn't forget. Or my mother, who would stress me out to no end if I left her out of this speech. She taught in Milwaukee Public Schools for 30 years. Also a proud union member. People from where I'm from, people from this part of the world aren't expected to make it to the state capitol, and that's if they're expected to make it at all. And that's something we have to be committed to changing. We have to give every ounce of ourselves to making sure that opportunity exists all over this state, all across this country equally, because at this point it does not. I believe that we need to build a better America where the opportunity that I was able to find isn't so rare. An America that works for all of us, not just the wealthiest few. I believe that together we can rise up and make a difference by building a movement that channels Wisconsin's legacy as the birthplace of the labor movement, the birthplace of the progressive movement. We can today build a movement for justice, just like freedom fighters did so long ago right here in Milwaukee. We can embrace the legacy of people like Ezekiel Gillespie. We all know the story of the conductor on the Underground Railroad right here, who in 1865 had the audacity to say, and as a black man, no less, in 1865, had the audacity to say that I'm gonna go vote. Just watch me do it. And his Supreme Court decision, because they told him he couldn't vote, he took his case to the Supreme Court. And that Supreme Court case guaranteed the right to vote for black people right here in Wisconsin, which was a groundbreaking decision. We have done big things before in Wisconsin. We're going to do them again. I know that we can do the work to create good jobs that are more than just a paycheck, healthcare that's accessible to everyone, and we can address the climate crisis while lifting up communities from Beloit all the way to Bayfield. And we can do this while recognizing the opportunities that lie with every farm and every town in between, the places that for too long people have been left behind. And that's why today I'm proud to announce my campaign for the United States Senate. I'm running for the Senate to provide opportunity to fight for hard-working people just like my parents and so many other people across this entire great state. I'm running to build on the legacy of those brave freedom fighters who came before me, who stood up for our most basic rights. I'm running because it's time for Wisconsin to do big and bold things once again. Now, you don't need me to tell you, the U.S. Senate is broken. Senator Ron Johnson is not delivering for the people of Wisconsin. He's joined by so many other cynical politicians who use false choices to divide us for their own political gain. But I know that when we all do better, we all do better. When we lift up families in Milwaukee, it helps farmers in western Wisconsin. When we fight for the mill workers in the Fox cities, the benefits are felt from Janesville all the way to Superior. When we build an immigration system that values justice and treats all people with the dignity that they deserve, we ensure a better life for everyone. And I know that we can do the hard work to keep our communities safe from fear by tackling gun violence. We need to clap harder for that, because gun violence is an American issue. It is a uniquely American issue that we have to be committed to solving. Now, growing up, as I said, my father worked on an assembly line. He did that for 30 years. My mother taught in schools, like I said, for the same amount of time, and they were able to provide a middle-class life. But too often, that's just not the case in this state anymore. Hard work doesn't pay off like it used to. Wisconsinites are working harder, working longer hours, but for less money. It's time for us to stand for something. And that's exactly what we did right here in Wisconsin, helping lead the state through a once-in-a-generation global pandemic, a summer of uncertainty in 2020. We stood strong and we helped keep communities safe throughout this entire state. We accomplished so much. But I, just like you, know that there's still so much more work for us to do. We cannot go back to the old way of doing things. We have to come out of the pandemic better than we went into it. It is getting harder and harder to pay your rent. Getting a mortgage is almost unattainable these days for too many people. It's harder to pay for health care, harder to pay for child care. It's harder to pay for education. We shouldn't have to pay for education in the first place. And while the most wealthy people in our society, in our communities, continue to get richer, the rest of us are being left behind. And there are far too many elected officials who are focused solely on winning the next partisan showdown, the next political battle, rather than delivering for the people who elected them in the first place. Wisconsin families all over, in each of our 72 counties, deserve the opportunity to get a job that pays the bills and more. You shouldn't just be satisfied with paying the bills. You should have some money to have a little R&R. You should be able to take a vacation. You should be able to have a job with some benefits so you can retire comfortably. And your health insurance shouldn't be tied to your job. We know that healthcare has to be a basic human right, as is the case with clean air and clean water, but that's not the reality for too many people. And you should have the right to have your voice heard at the ballot box without politicians getting in the way of it. These are the issues, the principles, the values that I have fought for my entire career, leveling the playing field for everyday people right here in Wisconsin. As an organizer in Milwaukee, as a member of the state legislature, and now as your lieutenant governor. Now, I've taken on inequality, and I've fought for equal opportunity, and I can guarantee you that's the fight that I'll continue in the United States Senate. Now, you know, speeches, these are just a moment in time. But today, let's dedicate ourselves that this moment will light a movement that carries us through the next election and beyond. We can't be satisfied with just getting through another election cycle. We have to look towards the future. We have to organize for better. We have to organize for more. We have to organize for the next generation. And I'm happy to see so many children here in the audience today, because this is what we do this for. This is why we're here today. We do this for opportunity for everyone, for jobs that we can support a family on, and education that we can build the future on. Farms run by our families, right here in Wisconsin. High-speed internet running through every community. Healthcare that actually protects our health, not the wealth of corporations. The courage to tackle climate change, and the principles to protect our democracy and the right to vote. Now, Now, call me an optimist, but I know that we can do this. I believe deeply that we can do this. I know that we have to do this, but we can only do this if we do it together. So if you work with us and you organize with us, if you push with us and you pull with us, I know that together we can build the future that we all know is possible. I know that we can build a future right here in the state of Wisconsin where the doors of opportunity are wide open for anyone with a dream and the passion to carry it forward. Now, I want you to look at this as day one on that journey, Wisconsin. Thank you so much for having me. Let's go out there. Let's take down Ron Johnson. But as we know, defeating Ron Johnson is only step one. We have to lead with our values, we have to lead with our vision, and we have to change the game. Thank you.